ride we just came for Morgan, though.
It's a mocktail. I do wish it was alcoholic. Say bye-bye! Epic Universe. A park unlike any other, except maybe its sister Universal Parks, but a step above them in its theming, presentation, and potential. Epic offers explorers the chance to jump through a portal, or four, into worlds unknown, and maybe someday soon that world will stretch just a little wider for all the eager adventurers that wander through their front gates. Hello, friends. I am your host, Morgan M. Steele. Today, we are embarking on a journey unlike any other I've gone on before. Literally. We were a Disney-only family until September of 2025, when I had the opportunity, with my friend Connor and my wonderful mother, to go to Epic Universe in their first year of opening. Today, I'm here to review the place top to bottom and tell you about all the things we saw, did, and wish we could have seen on our one day inside Epic Universe. I think we took a wrong turn somewhere. Where are we, MovieTurtle?
Oh, God.
No. I do not represent MovieTurtle or his opinions. His opinions are his own. Nothing he says represents me. We just got here being nice. We are, it appears, walking towards the Mario area of Epic Universal. We've never been to Universal. My dad never wanted to leave the Disney bubble, so we never did.
Oh, no. Never been?
Never. No, I've never been to Universal before, ever. Not the normal stuff, not this.
I was going to say, I've been, but only to the one that has all the coasters.
Oh.
Isle of Adventure.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably why. Because he couldn't do coasters, so I would assume that that's why. Status check. I'm losing my voice. Mama's got a sore throat and Connor has been coughing all morning. We're doing excellent. It's going to be a good day. Immediately upon entering Epic Universe, guests find themselves in Celestial Park, the middle ground for all these portals. As the name suggests, Celestial Park has a celestial theme, which means there are lots of sun, moon, and stars. There also seems to be a leaning towards Greek and Roman mythology, with lots of gods mentioned, a la the Helios Hotel, etc. While it mostly serves as the landing place between the four more themed areas of the park, I do find its theming to be pleasant and nice. I think it's neutral enough, and I think the world building here really sets the tone for the kind of park that this is, and the theming as to how all of these places come together. All over the park, there are speakers blasting an original score for the area as well, really setting that cinematic tone. And I looked, and it's currently sold out on vinyl. So, hopefully adding that to my collection at some point soon. There's a candy shop that features an original character, Captain Cacao, who, as I'm sitting here now, I do regret not getting a plushie of him, but that is a plunder for next time. The merch prices were kind of crazy too, so that, I was very intentional with my purchases, but now in hindsight, I would go back for him. There's some lore here about Captain Cacao's adventures. He plunders the galaxy in search of ingredients for the chocolates that he sells in his shop, which I think is very neat. I love original theme park lore. And there are two attractions in Celestial Park, neither of which we rode. The first is the Stardust Racers, which is a roller coaster. It was closed when we went because of the accident that happened on it. We were there in September of 2025. And the other is a very cool celestial-themed carousel called the Constellations Carousel. And all these places come together to sell the vibe of a celestial boardwalk. There is a giant, gorgeous fountain at the center of the park, which lights up at night, and several eateries, the most prominent of which seem to be Pizza Moon. We did not go, but it looks very cool inside. Like I said, early 1900s boardwalk vibes. It seems very cool in there, and I love pizza, so I'd love to check that out next time. Additionally, overlooking Celestial Park especially, but also all of Epic Universe, there is a hotel called the Helios. It's right there at the park. You can obviously see it from all of Celestial Park, and also other places. We'll get there later. And if you're doing a few days at Epic Universe, I have to imagine staying there is probably pretty convenient. You wake up literally right at the park. You don't have to drive. You're right there. You walk downstairs. You go out into the park. Seems very nice. Seems very convenient. At the time I wrote this script, the September prices were looking like they were going to be $450 per night. But, like I said, for some people, that price tag is going to be worth it. for the convenience of being right there. We didn't stay there because we were staying on Disney property, but that is a tale for another day. I really like Celestial Park as a concept. I think it's a really creative conduit for the concept of the park. I like the music. I love the fountain. And as a Galaxy print enjoyer since 2016, this is obviously very up my alley. I love a Galaxy print. I love a celestial theme. I think it's so fun. I love the logo of the park overall, the Epic Universe logo. I think it's very nice. I like the theming of it. The blue and gold is very like regal and nice, especially with the Galaxy print thrown in. But as nice as it is, Celestial Park is not meant to be the only stop on your journey. So, for our first stop of the day, we headed to...
This is where Morgan is already failing, because we're going through the portal. Oh, and it's the pipe.
Yeah, it made the noise and everything.
Oh, it's nice and air conditioned. What if we just stayed here?
In the pipe?
Yeah.
Just going up and down? Vlogging, you vlogging?
Yeah.
Are you vlogging?
Yeah.
You're making a vlog?
I am not making a vlog. This is for Morgan.
He's getting B-roll. Aww. What a sweet boy. This is actually insane. Yeah. Oh my god. Super Nintendo World, or Mario Land, as I've been calling it, since at this point in time only Mario-related games are represented in this area of the park, is a feast for the eyes and ears. It's hard not to boogie when you hear the Mario music playing as soon as you enter. It's a vibrant world, it's very colorful, and there are plenty of opportunities to meet some characters here, though I don't think we saw any while we were there. It was a rainy day, and I'm sure that deters some of the Mario-related characters from appearing. Super Nintendo World is a very vertical park, which I did not love. You take an escalator up into the park just to immediately take stairs down into it again. We saw a guy slip on them at the end of the night. That was crazy, which I have to imagine is a common occurrence, especially because it rains so much in Orlando. Like, those stairs have got to get slippery. There was also not a lot of cover from the sun here, which felt like an oversight overall, like for all of Epic Universe. This felt like something that could be improved. More shade, more seating, and more bathrooms were the common thing that we noticed while we were there. There's also a interactive game that kids can play if they purchase a interactive armband. I did not get one, but it's an armband. It's themed to a Mario character, and you can hit it on the blocks that provide power-ups in the game. It makes a coin sound and you can collect coins throughout the park, and then there were little checkpoints where they could do stuff with that, so that seemed like fun to entertain the little ones if you have little ones. It was my mom and her two grown-ass kids there, so that was not something that we did. There are 3 attractions in Super Nintendo World, so we started with the one that we were most excited for, which was Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge.
Oh, there he is. Jack Black himself. Where are we going, Morgan?
We're going to play Mario Kart!
Why are we in Muscari?
I don't know.
I miss Peach's castle. Yeah, we're in line for the Mario Kart ride right now.
Yippee!
I'm gonna barf all over Morgan because not only is it a ride, but you've got VR goggles because you are like playing Mario Kart.
This might ruin the whole day. We're gonna figure it out.
Connor's going
fine.
home.
It's a good thing I didn't
after
need
ride 1.
After ride 1 is crazy.
We're finding out that Bowser might be my dream man. He's got a whole library in here. There's so many books. He said, but what about the ghosts? There's ghosts. Not a deal breaker. That's a feature, in fact. They're so cute. He said, you said jump scares. He's the little guy. He's got his daughter's book on the shelf. He's a good dad. He's a good dad. Connor doesn't think I'm built for it. No. The Mario Kart ride is an interesting blend of experiences. It's a dark ride in part with beautiful sets depicting different places in the extended Mario universe, many of which can be driven through in the various Mario Kart games. It is also a game a la Toy Story Mania, a shooter game which involves wearing these silly Mario visors that let you aim and shoot at other digital racers.
It's like nice and cool on my forehead.
It barely fits on my big ass head.
I told him he could loosen it. He's like, I think I already got it all the way loose.
It's got a dial on the back. I think it's as loose as it goes. Like I said, my big ass head.
On the tutorial.
You, the players, play for Team Mario, and you're playing against Team Bowser. So you see different little Bowser kids and Bowser himself driving along, and your job is to shoot shells at them as they pass, much like Mario Kart, the games. I found it to be a little bit complicated. You only get shells when you pass through the cubes, which, you know, is like the game, but also you only get a certain amount of them. You get very finite shells, and so you have to kind of budget them. I think it would be a little more fun if it was an infinite shooter, like Toy Story Mania or Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin, where you just shoot forever. You shoot infinite shells. I think that would be a little more fun for me. I really like this ride. I think Mario Kart as a game series is a staple of the, Mario area of the games. In comparing it to Toy Story Mania, I must give this ride the advantage in that it has actual sets that you can drive through. You can take the visor off and there's real stuff around you. It's not all projected on the visor. I think that's very neat. There's like a Luigi's Mansion section. I'm on a Luigi kick right now. Also, by the way, don't worry about it. I'm fine. I'm doing great. Don't look up there. I'm good. But yeah, there's a I assume Luigi's Mansion section, which is really cool. There's a bunch of clouds you drive through. There's an underwater section. Like, it feels very immersive in comparison to Toy Story Mania, which just sets you in front of a screen. I think this was a lot better. There are piranha plants shooting at you and spinning you out. You get real motion here, which is really cool. Though it doesn't go very fast, the visor is used at times to simulate faster motion. So, for example, there's like a Rainbow Road section of the ride where you see it going really fast, but you're not really moving that much, and so it helps to like simulate the thrill aspect of it. But I could imagine it would make some people motion sick. I did not get that. My mom did a little bit, so just be mindful. I have mixed feelings on the visor thing. But I'm glad it's not a roller coaster. There are a lot of coasters in this park. Most of them are family coasters, as we'll get to, but there's a lot of coasters here, so the fact that this is not a coaster makes it more accessible for people, which is great. I think it's pretty accessible for all riders, despite the crazy amount of warnings that are on every experience at Universal. That was something I noticed. They don't really do that at Disney. They'll have a sign like outside the ride, like warning you about stuff. Before everything at Universal, they're like, if you're pregnant, if you have a heart condition, if you have a whatever, even if it's things that like wouldn't affect those conditions necessarily, there's a warning there. And it kind of took me out of the moment sometimes, I will admit. Like, I don't know. It's nice that people have that warning, but I feel like there's got to be like a more immersive way to do it, and also some of the warnings are not accurate, I feel, in my opinion, and it feels like it's kind of just covering them for a lawsuit. That's the vibe that I got, anyway.
What did Connor think of Mario Kart?
It was super fun. I mean, it's like, I don't want to say it like that, maybe. Like,
Better Toy Story
better
Mania.
Toy Story
Yeah,
Mania.
Toy Story Mania with actual sets and stuff, which was cool.
Like, I was turned off by the AR.
Yeah, I don't like the goggles as much, but they were fine. I didn't have any motion sickness with it. That was fine.
It is better than like Toy Story
It is better
Mania,
than
where
Toy Story
it sparks
Mania.
you at a screen.
Yeah. It's pretty fine. Yeah, good ride though. I enjoyed lots of stairs here. Lots of steep stairs.
Yes, so after we rode it and made sure it was safe for my mom, we were able to take her back later. And we had time to process these feelings, of course, in line for Yoshi's Adventure Egg Hunt. I would hardly even call this a ride, really. It is a less interesting people mover that goes about 2 miles an hour. You get to ride a Yoshi, which is cool. And some of the props are neat, I think. It drives you through like cute little themed areas. There is a dark ride scene, as you saw. There's one. I think that's cool. But whereas the People Mover in Tomorrowland is covered, it has like a covered track. It's covered from the sun and the elements. This one is just completely out in the open. There's no tunnel that these Yoshis, you know, are under all the time. And so if you get stuck out there in the rain or in the blistering sun, like I said, you're going 2 miles an hour in the elements, and that feels like it needed to be thought through a little bit more. I found it to not be worth the wait, but I was glad that we did it the one time. If you can walk onto this ride and you have nothing else to do, maybe give it a shot, but I would not wait any longer than 20-30 minutes for this. It's not worth any more than that.
Baby ride for babies, 1 out of 10. It had one cool, like, dark room, and if it had, like, 3 or 4 more of those, I think it would be fine, but we waited 35 minutes for a 2-minute roll through Mario Land. What did Mommy think of Baby Ride for Babies?
For babies.
For babies. And we're not babies.
What you see of it is what there is.
Yeah, I thought there'd be more inside. There was not.
Before lunch, we dipped back towards the Donkey Kong Country section of the park to check that out. Playing some sweet tunes back there, and that is the home of the Donkey Kong Minecart Mania ride, which we did not ride. It was very on and off that morning. They kept shutting it down because, like I said, it was raining on and off all day, and one of the themes of Epic Universe, the park, is a lot of that stuff does not work in the rain. And so that was one of them, where they would shut it down when it rains because it has one outside section of the coaster. So yeah, it was on and off, and the wait was really long, and they had a lot of delays. So we did not ride that one, but it looks kind of fun. Still, a neat little area. It makes me think that, you know, they could maybe expand the Mario section of the park. There's a lot of Mario games. There's Mario Galaxy. There's Luigi's Mansion. There's a lot of Mario games and spin-offs, and I feel like there's a lot of potential to add more stuff back here, maybe. So I think that would be cool to see. Hungry from our adventures thus far, we stopped into the Toadstool Cafe to grab a bite to eat.
Eating lunch, Connor.
Millennial boss.
Yippee! I got my allergy flag. I didn't think they were gonna have them. I'm so happy. Yay! And the allergist was very nice, and it's very cool in here. And sometimes there's like thunderstorms, and Bowser's ship comes by, which is cool. What's Mommy think?
Very good.
Yeah. And I got my food first, which is so nice. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yippee!
The Toadstool Cafe is a very, like, interesting place in terms of operation. It's kind of a hybrid between a sit-down and a quick-service meal. We had been at Disney that whole week, so that was what we were used to. We were used to either a traditional, like, sit-down with a waiter, like, experience, or walking up to a counter and grabbing food. You walk into the Toadstool Cafe. They have, like, a big menu screen in the waiting area so you can browse what they have available. You walk up to this line, and they have, like, a hostess that is seating people at the front, and they have, like, scouts that are, like, going to all the empty tables. They'll hold up, like, 4 fingers, which means 4 people can sit here, whatever. And so they're, like, flagging all these tables. They're sending you to the tables. You don't have, like, an assigned waiter or waitress, which I thought was really interesting. The way you order is there is a QR code on the table. You scan that, and you get, you know, a meal. You order your meal. I was a little worried about this because I have a tree nut allergy, and so I had flagged, like, one of the scouts that was walking around, or one of the people bussing tables, I don't know, and I was like, hey, I have, like, an allergy, like, can I talk to the allergist? And the way they do this is they have you add your allergy as an item to your cart on your phone, on the app. And then after you've ordered the food, they have the allergist come out and talk to you and make sure that what you've ordered is allergy safe. And for a nut allergy, I did not notice that many nuts, like, on the menu in general, which is really nice. Usually I have to look out for baked goods and desserts. Those are, like, the 2 big ones, especially desserts, sometimes baked goods. But every once in a while, they'll sneak into, like, something else, so I just like to be sure. So they had the allergist come out. She was very nice. She talked to me. She was like, what did you order? And she can see, like, everything that we've ordered at the table. I was like, oh, mine is, like, the Alfredo. I had the Yoshi Alfredo. It was very good. And she's like, yep, that's good for your allergy. And then they make it. And so I have to wonder, like, what happens for someone with, like, a more severe allergy than mine? More severe meaning, like a broader allergy than mine. Mine is pretty focused. But someone with, like, an egg allergy or, like, I don't know, like a milk allergy, like, I don't know how they do that. Like, if I've ordered the Alfredo, there's obviously dairy in that sauce. So someone with a milk allergy would not do that. But, you know, if I order something and it has my allergen in it, like, can they make it an alternative way? Or do they, like, change your order after the fact? Like, I just don't understand how that works. Because I'm used to doing it the other way, where I do allergist first and then I talk to the server, you know? But, you know, regardless, they took care of me. I did not die. It was a delicious meal. It was wonderful. Mom had a Luigi burger that came with a little... I just love him so much. I'm sorry. Mom had a Luigi burger that came with a little Luigi cap. I'm looking at it. It's over there. That was stuck in with a toothpick. Mine had a little, like, Yoshi, like, biscuit thing in it. It was cool. It was good. It was, like, shaped like a Yoshi egg, and I, like, cut it up and ate it with my noodles and chicken, I think it had on it. And mine came out with my little allergy flag, which I think I have footage of. I think you've seen footage of it. And also, Bowser's ship comes around like every 30-ish minutes, and the digital sky, because there's windows, so it looks like you're sitting in, like, Toadstool Kingdom or whatever. Bowser's ship comes by, and it gets all stormy outside. There is a big screen with a kitchen where it looks like all the toads are making the food, which I think is so cool. But yeah, Bowser's ship comes by every 30-ish minutes, like a Rainforest Cafe thunderstorm, which I think is neat. And yeah, I loved the theming of it. I loved this restaurant. I was so glad we went there for lunch. I thought it was so cool. I like Mario Land as a whole. I think it's a fun place with, obviously, a lot of love put into it. I felt like this was the most immersive world, I would say, where, like, you walk in and it's a completely different place. I think that this was the only section of the park that kind of felt like that, because it's so cartoony and, like, different. Are there some oversights? Sure. Are the wait times too long? Yep. That is a common occurrence throughout all of Epic Universe. All of the wait times were too long. There's not enough to do there. But I, for one, would like to see this corner of the park grow some more. I think it would be really cool. The merch here was pretty self-explanatory. There was a lot of it. There was merch for every character represented in the parks. They had adorable little headbands with different mushrooms on them and stuff. My favorite one, I almost got it. I should have, honestly. It was one of the chef toads, and he would sit on top of your head like Ratatouille. It was so cute. It was just the one guy in the middle, but he was so cute. There were little, like 2 mushroom headbands, and they had princess crowns. This is not from there. This is from somewhere else. My mom bought a Princess Peach crown pretty early on, and so she's wearing that in all the footage. She loves that thing. I am just so lucky that my Luigi hyperfixation had not kicked in yet. I would have been so cooked coming out of there. I got this after the fact, but they had plushies of this size there for, like, way more than I paid for this guy. So I would have been cooked. I would have had a Luigi hat. I would have had a Luigi plush. I would have had all the Luigi stuff. So I'm very glad that this hyperfixation kicked in this year and not last year, or I would have been cooked. The prices were crazy, but that was the case throughout that entire trip, especially in Disney. Oh my god. And after we had seen and done everything there was to do there, we found the exit pipe.
This one has an exit tube. Whoa! Nifty. So this is the backside of water. The what? Wow. Oh, I feel it. I feel the heat.
The Isle of Berk is an area of the park dedicated to the How to Train Your Dragon series of movies animated throughout the 2010s, as well as very recently turned into live-action films. The land itself is designed very cool. It is a very vertical park like the Mario one, but I feel like it uses its height in a way that the Mario Park does not. There's some water here, and there's like water rides like down in the water, which I think is very cool. And additionally, around the park, there are several dragon animatronics that flesh the place out a lot, like this very cool ice dragon. There are 3 attractions here. Dragon Racers Rally, a ride where you spin around in a dragon-shaped vehicle suspended with a mechanical arm up in the air. Fire Drill, a baby ride for babies, in which you shoot at targets with water guns. And finally, Hiccup's Wing Gliders, a family coaster featuring a few animatronics, one of Toothless, one of Hiccup, and it's meant to simulate the feeling of flying on a dragon. This is all well and good, but none of that shit works in the rain.
Yeah, so we knew it was gonna rain today,
And I brought umbrellas.
and I kept saying I wanted to feel the rain on my skin. Except I'm realizing it's a lot of rain.
We are finding out the hard way that there is nothing to do in Berk when it rains. They shut down all the rides when it rains. So, just so you know, you can't ride anything. There's a show in like an hour. But yeah, all of them have weather delays, all 3 rides, including the baby ride for babies. So, very fun.
This seems like a massive oversight to me. What do you mean one of your 4 primary sections of the park is useless in the rain? I think that's actually ridiculous. I think each section of the park needs at least 1 ride that you can ride when there's rain. Minimum. Like, there needs to be at least 1 people-eating attraction that you have that people can go to when it rains. There is a show that runs every hour. We'll get into that. But aside from that, like, what are these people supposed to do in the rain? And it rains all the time in Orlando. So, like, what do you mean? None of your rides work in the rain. Anyway, we did find a few things to do at Berk on such a rainy day. For starters, we met Toothless.
How are you today? What's your name? This is my friend Toothless. Have any of you ever met a dragon? No. Oh, you're a natural. I never would have guessed that was your first time. You're so brave.
So I would like to say not only thank you to Guppy, like the fish, for teaching us how to meet dragons. She showed us how to very safely pet this massive animatronic. But also thank you to the Universal employee who not only got awesome pictures of us, but also, like, she took this whole video for me. That's so kind. Thank you. The Toothless experience is a very neat kind of thing, advertised very smartly as Toothless and Friends. So sometimes Toothless is there with his friend Hiccup. Sometimes he's there with his friend, what's her name, Astrid. Sometimes he's there with, I don't know, the twins show up sometimes. But sometimes it is just original Viking characters that they made for the park, and I think that that's very smart. You're not setting the kids' expectations too high. You're not saying, oh, meet Hiccup and Toothless, and then Hiccup is only there like a third of the time, you know? So I think that's very smart. Honestly, I think this area of the park was where we saw the most walk-around characters while we were there. Because it was raining, there really were not many characters in the other parks. There were some in the Harry Potter section, we'll get there. There weren't any in the Mario section. Maybe there was, I feel like maybe we saw Toad. Like out and about, like in a covered area. I don't know, but there's a lot of potential for characters there, but we didn't see any. But yeah, there were like Vikings everywhere. We saw a lot of characters in Berk, so that was cool. And more Vikings yet could be found at the Untamable Dragon. This is a short stage show they put on every couple of hours. It is a new narrative arc for the characters, pertaining to a dragon in Berk that is just untrainable. There are several original songs, and at one point in the show, Hiccup flies overhead on Toothless, which is sick. Very cool. It's a really special experience with a lot of cool puppets, and it is indoors, so that works in the rain.
Another cool puppet show. Cool puppet show. The Hiccup that was out there, he had big, like, Marty McFly energy. Do you concur, sir? He had Marty McFly energy. I don't know. I don't know. Something about the mannerism, something about the voice. He could be Marty. Put him on Broadway.
Overall, I felt our experience in Berk was kind of lackluster. I think, you know, the weather and like nothing working kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. I didn't feel particularly drawn to the merch there either, and I want to say, like, even as a Rise of the Brave Tangled Dragons girly to my core, Hiccup has never been my favorite of the four of them. So, like, maybe I'm not drawn to it just because I'm not, like, as attached to those movies as other people my age. They're great. They're good movies, but it's just never been, like mine. Like, if this was a Rise of the Guardians section of the park, I'd be all over that shit, trust. You know, I wasn't feeling particularly drawn to the merch there. There wasn't anything there that really called to me. Of the four parks, I think Berk is probably my least favorite. No, we're about to get to my least favorite. Yeah, so this section of the park doesn't make any sense. Interesting. I thought the whole thing was going to be the Ministry for some reason, but it just spit us out in Wizard France. So, yeah.
So that we can also tie in some Fantastic Beasts stuff.
Oh, fun. Yippee! And this is where the disclaimer goes. Trans rights are human rights. We hate J.K. Rowling. I'm not buying anything. Just looking around. Probably hating on it. The line's too long for the ride anyway, so we couldn't ride it if we wanted to.
Well,
Yippee!
it's only 3 hours.
It's only 3 hours.
How about the spell to change the size?
The gate spits you out in Wizard France in the time of the Fantastic Beasts movies, which is like, whatever. That's fine, I guess. I don't really care about Fantastic Beasts. Does anyone? I don't know. I'm sure some Harry Potter millennial is going to be like, I love Fantastic Beasts. It's the... And to be fair, I like the first movie. I thought it was good. I don't even think I've seen the other two, frankly. So, who's to say? I just know they did so bad that they canceled the last two. So, you know, I don't know why we're choosing this particular area of Harry Potter to theme a section on. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. And I guess they don't either, because they don't commit to this theming, right? The ride that is in this section of the park is based on the Ministry of Magic in London, not Wizard France, London. And it's set during the time of the movies. Also, the original movies, the original series. It's set at, well, I almost called her Dumbridge. Umbridge is in jail, ? So shortly after the series, I would assume. Yeah, anyway, not in the 30s in Wizard France. I will say the world building in this section of the park is cool. There are paintings that talk to you. We saw a painting talk to a guy in the street. That was neat. There's little, like, magical creature animatronics. That's very fun. They had a couple walk-around characters that were dressed as students from different schools. They had a Hogwarts student, a Hufflepuff, I think. They had a Beauxbaton, I don't know how you pronounce that school. And they had a Ilvermorny student walking around. Okay, so that's kind of neat. That's cool that they're walking around interacting with people, talking to people. And there is also a stage show there, which is set within the Fantastic Beasts stuff, which we saw. It is called Le Cirque Arcanu. We had a brief technical difficulty there. The show is delayed. We don't know what happened. Another one. Connor said, I broke it. He said, I broke it. It's not my fault.
All I'm saying is I saw all these shows as a child and the worker Morgan wasn't here.
And I liked the Cirque show, okay? It's cool. It's got a cool gimmick. It's got cool animatronics. I thought all of the puppets were cool. It's a very cool puppet show, all right? And I love puppets. We know I love puppets. Very cool puppet show.
Yeah, it was cool.
A lot of creatures. Cool light up eyes. Very cool. Very cool. What mommy think of puppet show? Very good. I thought it was neat to see Fantastic Beasts played on stage like that. I think it's a very cool medium for that, specifically, because there's all the cool creatures, and I think the state-of-the-art animatronics and puppets are used very well here. Alright, the performers were great. And I have to say, I like the emphasis on live theater in this park. You get a show at the How to Train Your Dragon section of the park. There's also a show here at the Harry Potter section. I think that's neat. I think it's cool that they're putting an emphasis on live theater. It's very important to me. It's an art that I care very much about, so seeing it represented in 2 areas of the park I think is very cool. Yeah, it's cool that it's not just screens. It's cool that they're not just sitting you down for a movie or whatever. Not to be a theater kid on Maine, but you can feel the difference. You can feel the energy when there's people on stage doing real things in real time. And it's very cool to see. And so I do enjoy that. And that show, however cool it is one of 2 attractions in Wizard France. There's the show. And then there was a ride, like I said, the Ministry ride, that we couldn't ride because there was a 3-hour wait.
I'm just here to interrupt Morgan and let you know that it's now up to 4 hours.
4 hours. Okay, 4 hours. And we were not about to spend all that time in line for that ride. It's kind of a bummer. It seems like the Ministry, like stepping through the flu powder system, is like the main showstopper of the park. So I wish we could have seen that. We joked about like going in just to see that part. And yeah, like it looks really cool. It seems like it's a very cool area, very cool attraction. But I have to ask, what is it doing in this park? What is it doing in this park? This is 20s, 30s, whatever. Wizard France. What are we doing taking flu powder to the Ministry in London in a different time? Are we flu powdering with a time turner? Like, what is going on? I don't understand why you couldn't commit to one part of the Harry Potter lore. If you're going to commit to one part, cool. Do a Fantastic Beasts ride. Why are we splitting the timeline? And I understand it's because the Harry Potter millennials are gonna go there and be like, but I want to see Harry Potter. I don't want to see Newt Scamander. So they've got to put Harry in the park somewhere. And it's got to be on that ride, right? And so the ride has to be set during the main timeline. But it ruins the whole theme of the area. It's pissing me off.
Robert.
Yeah.
It's pissing me off.
It's ruining my immersion. Okay. Alright. I've complained enough. You want my 2 cents as a former Harry Potter fan? I said that wearing this, saying I am a former Harry Potter fan, okay? I don't buy official merch at all. I haven't since, God, like 2017. These are all secondhand. Alright, every now and again, I'll have a tiny little phase, and I'll get back into the movies a little bit. And I watch the movies that I already own, on the media I already own them on. I have not played Hogwarts Legacy. I don't interact with the fandom because I don't want J.K. Rowling to have any of my money because she's using it to harm trans people, and I love trans people, okay? I should have had my trans flag on display for this. It's back here. I love you trans people, okay? You want my 2 cents as a former Harry Potter fan? This section of the park should be themed to the Quidditch World Cup and or the Triwizard Tournament. Alright? I'm a Goblet of Fire kid. I think that this is an untapped area of the market, okay? Imagine you're walking through this portal. It spits you out in the campground that we see when they go to the Quidditch World Cup. Alright? This opens you up to a Quidditch roller coaster or like ride of some kind where you're like, maybe inside, so it's like projected all around you, like, oh, you're on the field, like doing the Quidditch thing. Quidditch roller coaster. Alright, I think that'd be neat. This is theming that works in the day or the night because we see it at both times in the film. So you see all the cool tents. You could do the bit here where you do some like theme park magic. So a tent looks really small on the outside, but then you walk in and it's like a big like dining hall kind of thing, or like the Weasley's tent. Maybe that could be a dining spot of some kind. I think that would be really sick and really cool, and I think people would love that. You can see it during the day, and then maybe at night it gets a little bit spooky. Maybe some Death Eaters come out, because like that's what happens in the film. If you're expanding it beyond just the Quidditch World Cup part of the film, you could also include the Triwizard Tournament stuff. You could have a maze ride experience. You could have a dark ride that's the Under the Lake trial. You could have a either a roller coaster or like something else with the dragon trial. Okay, there's a lot that you can do here. You could have a like tunnel that takes you up to Hogwarts. That could be your big dinner eatery. Could be a Hogwarts like dining hall restaurant. I'm just spitballing here. I think this is what you should have done for this. Not Wizard Paris. Who cares about Wizard Paris? No one cares about... You didn't even care about Wizard Paris. You didn't set the ride in Wizard Paris. You had to lean on the original movie. So if you're going to do that, commit to the bit, my guy. All right? Like I said, with all of this new theming that I'm pitching, right? You could have walk-around characters of the Weasleys. You don't have to worry about them looking exactly like the characters because Fred and George have their faces painted. All right? And they have their long hair, so you can have them in wigs. But yeah, you can have them running around with Ginny. You can have Harry and Ron running around if you so desire. You can have Lucius Malfoy there. And Draco, perchance. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of potential here. Like I said, Death Eaters at night. So you can have like kind of both, where it's like the family-friendly Harry Potter during the day, and then at night it gets a little bit darker for the older kids. I think that's what you should have done, and I think you could still do it. So there's my 2 cents on this wasted potential ass area of the park. Anyway, and if you're worried about sightlines, either the maze or the giant Quidditch stadium could have blocked out everything else. So, you know, because the buildings in Wizard France do help with the sightlines, but I think you could build some tall stuff that would also do that better than some other current areas of the park do that. So I'm a little biased. Goblet of Fire has always been my favorite. But since we've already done Diagon Alley, we've already done the Hogwarts Express and Hogsmeade, this is what's left. Take it or leave it. It would feel like a worthy thing to be portaled to. This is an event, you know? Other than some random street of Wizard Paris. And then also, in addition to Wizard Paris, a portal to the Ministry in the 90s. Like, make it make sense. Keep it all in one time. I'm all for suspending my disbelief, but if you want me to do that, you need to not ask so much of me. Keep the immersion concise. And speaking of immersion, I have saved the best park for last.
Walking into Dark Universe as it starts raining. Connor is feeling the rain on his skin. Oh my god. Oh. Oh my god. Look at it out there. That is crazy. Yeah, random little thunderstorm here as the portal jolts above us. It's very eerie and beautiful. Oh, the wind was a paid actor. Yeah.
During the day, Dark Universe is a very cool, eerie, old European village. There are a few shops, a makeover spot where you can get turned into a monster, and some places to eat, like Das Steakhouse and the Burning Blade Tavern. The theming here is in reference to the old Universal black and white horror movies, such as Dracula, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, The Mummy, The Creature of the Black Lagoon, Wolfman. All of these classic monsters depicted in the Universal movies are featured here. All of those characters are set here into a very interesting timeline that utilizes some new characters. Like I said, I love original theme park characters. Most notably here we have Victoria Frankenstein, who is the granddaughter of Dr. Frankenstein. She's created her own creature, and she's got Igor following her around. And you can find him roaming the park sometimes, as well as the Invisible Man. We did not see any of them. I think it's because of the rain. I can't imagine them, like, sending the Invisible Man out with his bandages on and getting, like, freaking waterboarded in the Orlando rain with it, like, dripping. That just seems bad. So I'm glad he wasn't out. But you couldn't even send Igor out. I bet that little guy loves the rain. Please. The prime landmark here is Frankenstein's castle. It gets struck by lightning at all hours of the day. It was very neat. It lights up during the day too, but especially at night. You want to go back at night. And this castle is home to one of 2 Dark Universe attractions. Monsters Unchained, not to be confused with Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed.
Right, it's pouring, but Morgan is sending me into Frankenstein's castle to test ride monsters unleashed for her because she's afraid. And I don't blame her. Ooh, behind the hidden bookcase. Off we go to the bride's secret lab, I assume, if I know the lore of this ride correctly. She's got all kinds of organs and body parts. Oh. It looks like she's got Frankenstein right there. All kinds of stuff that might be too eepy for Morgan. We'll have to see. Oh damn, they took his cake. He flat. He built like Hank Hill. And then the queue, you actually have to go up into the castle. Which, like we said, this is Dr. Frankenstein's castle that I believe the bride has claimed, retribution. Whoa. Say, we're heading. Or it is basically a walk-on right now. As I have basically traversed the entire castle. Oh, and I think there she is.
But you will see. There's nothing to fear. Show them.
And what's that there?
Lower the lights, quickly. Now. These people are friends. See? There's nothing to be afraid of. He is amazing. Better than the original. He is the key to our most exciting experiment. For years, I have studied and controlled the monsters that prowl the darkness. And only one remains. I will control my ultimate challenge. Count Dracula. Calm yourself. That wasn't us. These two just don't get along. The Dracula experiment is the last piece of the puzzle. And with your help, the world will never see the name Frankenstein the same again. Open the doors!
That was awesome. The arm mechanic, so good. One of my favorite things. I know Morgan said she was scared of it. So good. Movie ride way too scary for Morgan though.
What did you say?
Ride very good. Like incredible.
Yeah.
Morgan cannot ride.
And that's why we send Connor as the canary in the coal mine.
Yeah, so apparently this is the coolest ride in the world, and I don't doubt it. I've seen lots of cool videos of this thing. Steven frickin' Spielberg was a producer on this thing. Like, that is so insane to me. I love a dark ride. I am a big fan of the Haunted Mansion, so I really do think that this one would just be so cool to ride. I think Connor was right. I think it might have been too scary for me on that day, but if we ever go back, mark my freaking words, I'm gonna be so brave, and I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna see it. The other ride in Dark Universe we did not ride. It is called Curse of the Werewolf. It is a spinny coaster, and you go like around like a loop a couple times back and forth, and you spin like crazy, and Connor is afraid of Wolfman. So that really did not seem like it was fit for either of us. And also I didn't want to throw up. So, we set that one out. That's fine. I have no regrets about that. During the day, Dark Universe, very cool. It's very eerie and neat. I wonder what it looks like in the sunshine. Because we were there, like I said, on a rainy day. It was raining on and off. It was very cloudy. It set the mood really nice. I wonder what it looks like with an Orlando double rainbow across the sky. I feel like that's got to be interesting. But it appeals to horror fans year-round. And it has the coolest ride in the park. So the ambiance here is solid. There's some music playing here as well. They did have this one on vinyl when we were there, and I should have bought it, honestly, but I didn't know how I was going to get a vinyl record back in one piece. There's some places here to pose for pictures, and I did notice while we were there that some of the sightlines are off.
It's ruining my immersion.
But aside from that, I love the look of the place. Solid 7 out of 10. At night, though, this place transforms into another world entirely. Dark Universe is built for the night hours. I don't know, this place just feels way more alive when everything else is asleep. The windmill above the Burning Blade Tavern ignites with fire every 30-ish minutes, and it does this in the day too, but it ignites the sky at night. It is crazy. This windmill that lights on fire is above the Burning Blade Tavern. The tavern itself, fully functioning bar. You can get drinks here. Connor got a beer. Mom and I got some mocktails in test tube glasses. Very fun. I still have mine. I don't know where it is. So dark here. Hello. It's a mocktail. I do wish it was alcoholic, but I wanted the fun cup. So I had a very yummy garlic butter pretzel stick in the shape of a wooden steak. It was so good. It was like so good. And I don't remember exactly what was in the mocktail, but the bartender said it was like, it's a juice blend. So I think there was like some pineapple in it. It's blue, so it's like dyed blue. And then there's some Sprite in there. It was very yummy. I have no complaints. It was a very good drink. Yeah, and our bartender was very cool. You could tell he like enjoyed working there and he was having a good time. For the food, we once again had to use the Universal app to order. It's very interesting. I don't know. I don't love that. I don't love that I can't just walk up to the window and like order and pay. I hate that I have to get an app involved. Maybe this is just me getting old, but like, why do I need an app for everything? Why do I need an app for everything? I just want to order food. And so I had to, once again, add my allergy to the cart. I spoke with the allergist very briefly. Hi, I have a tree nut allergy. I ordered the pretzel stick. Will I die? No. Great. Awesome. Thank you. Very yummy pretzel stick. It was so good. And there was a little bit of seating outside, but I think there could have been more seating options. Inside the tavern, it was like standing spots only, kinda. There were like some standing tables where you could get a drink. They don't want people to like hang out here too long, I guess. And while we were eating outside, we saw like a character go into the tavern and she was talking about monster hunting, which I think is so cool. So like that's like the night life of the park is the monster hunting stuff. I think it's very neat. It's just so awesome. It's just so awesome. Like holy shit, like the theming here is so sick. I loved it. I loved it so much. You know, we only doubled back to Dark Universe because I was hungry and I saw that there was a quick stop place in the back of it and I kind of wanted to see it at night. So we went back, and if we hadn't, we wouldn't have seen how freaking awesome this section of the park is. It's so cool. And honestly, if we hadn't gone back, I think I would have left Epic Universe with a completely different opinion of the place than I have now. So I'm very glad that we did go back. I get into all of my complaints in this video where we went back to the Mario Kart queue again.
Universal.
So many stairs in Universal.
Not accessible at all.
Not accessible. I'm sure there's elevators somewhere, but by God. Also, it's not even 7 and we have done pretty much everything we can do, which is so fun. And Connor pointed out outside that you can see the top of the Celestial Hotel from here as well. So there goes the immersion. Deeply unfortunate. Cool castle though. I love the queue.
Having been there in its first year, I have a lot of complex feelings about Epic Universe. It's hard to talk about the good without also getting into the complaints. There are way too many stairs. There is not enough shade. There are not enough rides. And the wait times for said rides, because there are so few of them, are ridiculous. 4 hours is too many hours for any ride. I would not wait that long to ride literally anything. That is a third of your day in the park you're spending on one ride. No way in hell. And a lot of rides don't work in the rain, so that bumps up the time for all the rides that do every time it rains, which is a lot in Orlando. Some of the immersion needs to be improved. Like I said, the sightlines in certain parts of the park, I should not be able to see the Helios Hotel from any of the portals. That's the point. It's a portal. It's taking you to another world. And if I can see the world I came from when I get to that other world, it's not immersing me. So you need to work on that. But the core of this park, the concept, a park built by a celestial steampunk guy full of portals that can take you anywhere you can dream. It's incredible. It's very creative. It's definitely worthy of a fully fleshed out park. I keep telling people this. I definitely want to go back. I want to see it all again, do it all again, and then do it all again. I'd like to. I really would like to. But it would have to be after they added some new stuff. And it seems like they're in the process of doing that. I think Epic Universe, like all theme parks, is far from finished, and I think the concept it is built around is so genius that the sky is literally the limit. All they have to do to add any other property to the park is just to build another portal. Boom. You can just put up another one and add literally whatever you want. I gave you my 2 cents on the Harry Potter section of the park. I would also like to give you my 2 cents about other things that can be added to make Epic Universe a way more epic place. Celestial Park. I would like some more walk-around characters that fit the vibe here. It seems, as of my research, that they have added Captain Cacao as a walk-around character, so that's great. That's a great first step. I think you could give us some more lore. I think you could give us, like, the steampunk guy that invented this place, have him walk around. I think he could have a very, like, what is it, Dreamfinder or whatever from the original Journey into Imagination ride. I think he should have that kind of vibe. You can have him walking around. I would also love a dark ride. I love a dark ride. I would love a dark ride here, laying out the, how the park came to be. I think that would be very cool. I think it could be kind of Great Movie Ride-esque in that, like, Doc Brown is literally in the lore of this park. I don't know if you know that. There are flux capacitors on the roller coaster. I forget what they're called now that I've said it. The coaster in Celestial Park. Doc Brown helped build that thing. And there are flux capacitors on the ride vehicles. So if you do, like, an origin story ride, Doc Brown can be in it. Isn't that so sick? That'd be so cool. And you can get more creative with that as you add more things to the park. Mario Land. So easy. Like I said, Luigi's Mansion ride, Mario Galaxy ride. You could also have Rosalina walking around, or you could have like a Rosalina's Adventure, like Dark Ride. I think that would be so cool. You could have a coaster. You could have a Mario Galaxy coaster. There's a lot of potential here. And if they put Rosalina stuff in there, then they can sell Lumas in the park. It's a win-win situation. The other rumors I've seen about Super Nintendo Land, because it is called that, it's not called Mario Land, I call it that, but it's called Super Nintendo Land. So the rumors I've seen that are all but confirmed is like Legends of Zelda stuff. Apparently there's a Triforce in the parking lot somewhere, and also we saw this there's a stained glass window with either Zelda or Link on it. I don't remember. One of the two. So it seems like they are kind of foreshadowing that. I don't know if it would be a separate portal or if it would be like a portal in a portal situation. You go in the Mario tube and then there's a separate little portal to Hyrule or whatever it's called. I don't really play Zelda. But, I don't know how that works, but you could do that. You need a portal in there. Animal Crossing would be cool. Pokemon would be cool. I'm just saying. There's a lot of Nintendo games. We have discussed my demolition of Wizard France. Berk might be fine, I think, but it needs at least one inside ride that can operate in the rain, because there's not any of those. I don't know, like, what that would pertain to. Like I said, I'm not super familiar with I almost said Rise of the Brave Tangled Dragons. I am familiar with that. If you want a video on that, you let me know. I could get real in there. Dark Universe. It sounds like they are doing this currently. They're expanding the park. I've seen, like, paperwork stuff. This is just from videos I've watched of like patents of a water ride, like Creature of the Black Lagoon water ride. I've heard rumors of a Phantom of the Opera dark ride. That would be sick. I've heard rumors of a Bride of Frankenstein dark ride. So I think whatever they're doing over there is going to be very cool. I'm very excited to see whatever it is, but they're working on expanding that, so I don't have any further suggestions. They're doing that. As for new properties I would bring into the park, Scooby-Doo / Spooky Island. This is my recent movie watches talking. I just rewatched that first movie like a month ago. Spooky Island is so cool. I want to go to there. So there's like a built-in ride like in that movie, that dark ride coaster thing, the horror coaster with the swinging axes and whatever. Do that. I know there is a park that has done that, ? But if you could get the rights, it'd be real sick. And I know in one of the Universal parks, the Scooby-Doo characters are walking around anyway. So that'd be neat. Lord of the Rings. I know that the Tolkien estate is very picky about what they let use the Tolkien brand, but the people are itching for a Lord of the Rings theme park. It'd be so sick. Imagine walking through that portal and it spits you out in the Shire. Imagine eating at a restaurant in the Shire. Imagine how cool this would be. Maybe it's Bilbo's 111th birthday. Maybe it's any other day in the Shire. That would be so cool. You could do a water ride here. You could do the barrels from the Hobbit movies. I'm just spitballing. It'd be very cool. But then, by my own logic, you'd have to set it during the Hobbit and not Lord of the Rings, so I don't know. That's up to them. But the Shire exists in The Hobbit as well. So you could get spit out in The Hobbit times in the Shire and just be hanging out, and that'd be cool. And then you could do the barrel water ride, and it'd be so fun. Or they could do some world building and have it be like, oh, well, the dwarves told us about their epic adventure, and so this is based on the time in The Hobbit when they... Anyway, convoluted. But you could do it, and it would be so fun. And there's not like a water ride in this park yet. That'd be cool. Except for the baby ride for babies in Berk, where you shoot the water stuff, but there's not like a toss through the rapids kind of ride. You know what I'm talking about? Something DC related. I don't know, like DC Comics. I don't know what this would be. If they demolish Wizard France, like you could have like a Metropolis or a Gotham. I don't know. It seems very untapped, and I was watching a video about how the paperwork was recently reworked because Six Flags has the rights to DC characters, but apparently now in the contracts it specifies that it excludes Florida. So I think that opens the way for Universal to do something, but maybe they'd want to replace the Marvel stuff instead, because that's all kind of outdated, and maybe it wouldn't be an Epic Universe. But I don't know. There's some room for some DC something or another in Universal in general, but maybe not Epic Universe. One Piece. Seeing as Universal Hollywood already has a One Piece show, I think this kind of speaks for itself. Port that shit to Florida. A pirate port would be so fun to explore. One Piece literally has 1,000+ episodes of stuff that you could do. You could do a Baratier restaurant. I'm speaking as a live action show fan. I don't know all the stuff from the anime. Baratier restaurant. Have my boy Sanji walking around there. Imagine you walk in and Sanji is your server. Huh? Cool as hell. Obviously not every table would get the Sanji treatment, but imagine.
No cause for alarm, folks. Please enjoy your meals.
It would be so fun. There's got to be something there. There's got to be some rides. It's a pirate show. There's got to be rides involved, you know? And then, finally, this is the portal that I would like to see the most. I'm very biased. I'm so biased. I would love a Wicked/Wizard of Oz portal. I know that the movies came out. I know For Good didn't do as good as they were projecting it to do. I would be a little bit surprised if they opened this portal, but I would love it regardless. They had a Wicked pop-up, I don't know if it's still there, in one of the other Universal parks, and there was meet and greets with Elphaba and Glinda. You could throw Fiyero into the mix. You could throw, I don't know, conceivably, Nessa Rose, Bach, whoever, into the mix. Tin Man, Scarecrow, Lion, who's to say? You could do meet and greets with them. There's lots of merch potential. We saw this when the movies were coming out. Little girls love Wicked. You could do a Bippity Boppity boutique style thing. They have one in the monster section of the park in the Dark Universe area. You can be turned into a monster, but you could also do this for the little girls who want to be witches. Good Witch, Bad Witch boutique, something like that. That would be very fun. In terms of rides, I think we need a dark ride. Wicked the For Good journey or something. I don't know, where it's like the origins of whatever. It would be very cool. Wizard of Oz has a lot of dark ride potential. We saw it with the Great Movie Ride. May she rest in peace. They had a lot of Wizard of Oz scenes in there. Do that. Do the Wicked version of that, okay? It'd be so sick. Very cool animatronics here. Also, you could get the songs in there. They're singing, you know? I feel like this one writes itself. Also, Defying Gravity roller coaster. You hit the big drop with the imagine. It'd be so sick. Yeah, I think you walk through the portal and it's the Emerald City, and you know, what's his name? The wizard, Jeff Goldblum, has made a deal with the steampunk guy that runs Celestial Park to boost tourism to his Emerald City. I think the storytelling works very well. I think it would fit very well into the park. It's magical enough that it kind of fits with the vibe they're going with, and it's kind of steampunky a little bit, whereas like the wizard has like old-timey earth tech. I think it could work. Let me walk down the yellow brick road, please. So those are the portals I want. I would like them, please. Thank you.
There she goes. Say bye-bye.
Epic Universe. is a park of dreams, a place where anything is possible and where a portal to a whole new world could be just around the corner. Though it's not a perfect place, I think it still has room to grow to its full potential and become a place that even a mouse in a wizard hat has trouble competing with. I would like to give a big thank you to LMG Vids, who is letting me use some of their footage in this video. Very awesome. They will be credited below and in the footage of theirs that I've used. Please go check them out. Yeah, their channel and... Usopp, no! Their channel and their Epic Universe video that I used are both linked below, so please go check those out. A big thank you to MovieTurtle, aka Connor, who has been my adventure buddy for the bulk of my adulthood years now. I love getting to see things with you, whether it's our little local trips or journeys that take us across the country. I love adventuring with you, dude. You're one of my very best friends, and so thank you for coming with us on this journey, and I hope there are many, many, many more in our future. His YouTube channel is linked below as well if you'd like to check out any of his media deep dives or the vlog he made of our experience in Galaxy's Edge, which was also on this big Florida trip we went on. And the biggest thank you goes to my mother, who made all of this possible. She worked very hard with our travel agent to get everything booked and planned, and for the most part, all of it went without a hitch. Mom, you're my best friend, and you've been my best friend for my whole adulthood, and I love seeing things with you. So thank you for making my life so special, and thank you for taking me to all these really cool places. Have you been to Epic Universe? What did you think of it? Let me know all those things in the comments down below. What rides did you love? What rides would you love to see in the future as the park grows? Do you agree with my critiques? Do you have your own? Let me know all of that in the comments down below. That is going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely rest of your day. And as always, take your meds, drink your water, and I will see you when I see you.